Good morning. We are the Team POE in 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world. These are the members of Team POE. We have Haynes Ricafort, James Carl Castro, Giancarlo Mercado, Kristan Aymar San Juan, Maria Nicole Ramos, and last, we have Micaela Marcelino. We have the summary of a story called Suddenly, A Knock on the Door by Edgar Keret. A writer struggling with a story finds himself unexpectedly assaulted by two men with pistols and a pizza delivery woman wielding a cleaver. They all have the same demand. A new tale. I'll bet this doesn't happen to Philip Roth or Amos Oz. The writer, Kenneth Talbert, complains.
The first question is, what is the conflict in the story? The conflict of the story is person versus person because the protagonist is having a conflict on three people. The conflict is also a person versus himself because the protagonist experience an inner struggle which is a moral dilemma and self-doubt. So person versus person siya kasi merong conflict between the protagonist and three intruders. So yung tatlong intruders ay pinipilit nilang magkwento ng story yung writer. Or kung hindi, papatay nila yung writer. Tapos, person versus himself din siya kasi yung protagonist is experiencing inner struggle. Kasi merong baril tsaka kutsilyo na nakatutok sa kanya. So kaya nahihirapan din siyang gumawa ng story.
How is the conflict manifested in the situation in the story? Answer. When a bearded man sitting on the protagonist's sofa with pistol and the bearded man tells to the protagonist that he wants him to tell a story.
Bakit ito yung nagpapakita ng conflict sa situation sa story which is suddenly a knock on the door? Kasi po yung protagonist, which is the man who writes a story or story maker, is nakita niya po yung antagonist na isang bearded man sa sofa niya. And syempre kahit sino naman is magtatanong kung bakit merong tao dun na hindi mo kilala. Bago siya makapagtanong, yung antagonist ay sinabi na sa protagonist, "Tell me a story." Habang hawak yung pistol. Sinabi rin nung protagonist na isa siyang story maker at hindi isang storyteller. And bago niya magsalita, naalala niya na ang una't huling niyang kwinentuhan is yung anak niya na matagal na panahon na lumipas. Pero ito ay hindi isang bearded man. So, because of this, dito po nagsimula yung tuloy-tuloy na conflict sa buong kwento.
So dagdag ko lang po sa explanation ni Kristan. Kaya po ito yung conflict na nagmamanifested sa sitwasyon sa story. Kasi po in the beginning pa lamang po is malalaman agad na merong alitan or conflict na nangyayari sa pagitan ng dalawang tao, which is we called po na external conflict, and one of its type po is person versus person, kung saan may alitan sa panig ng dalawang tao. Also po, meron nangyayaring aggression or in Tagalog po is pananalakay, which is makikita naman po sa story kung saan yung antagonist is nandoon sa house ng protagonist para lang magpakwento, but it's not in a nice way dahil meron nga siyang dalang pistol. In short, by pointing a pistol and saying tell me a story from the antagonist to the protagonist, it manifested the conflict, and because of this, the flow of the story po ay nagtutuloy-tuloy yung conflict or hanggang sa humaba yung pagkukwento ng protagonist.
Question number 3. Is the conflict a prevalent issue in the world today? Why do you think so? Yes, it was a prevalent issue in our world today. All nations wanted to lead the world, no matter if they are from a small country or how big they are. One of the examples could be the issue on Spratly Island, where China wanted to own it, but in reality, we are the real owner of that island. Each alliance wanted to intervene and get what they wanted. Another example is racism. It's the one of the most talked about issue in the whole world. However, like on the story, we can still work together as one as long as that we have one goal once. We fully understand that outcome of that goal, we can work things out and unite for a better result. We all know that many of us hear that issue because China wants to reclaim that territory of ours based on their knowledge and discovery. So the other countries like Vietnam wants to claim our territory, which is Spratly Islands and a part of it, because China, they believe that many resources that they can get or dig underwater, not only our territory wants to reclaim, but they conquer other territory in form of money trap. If one country invests $1 trillion to China and that country did not get paid after 20 years, they will put a governor to that place. About racism, we all know that people of other countries doesn't have a fair equal when it comes to characteristics of a human or abilities and beliefs in culture, because some of netizens of our country experience unfair fellowship through words that doesn't have a sense, through saying negative words that can break down their heart and feelings of a victim.
This is our last question that we have. What demands on a reader a literary work from a different culture comprehend the test? Specifically, what should the reader be prepared to do in order to make better sense of the literary work such as this story? In the story, it has a pleasant benefit to catch the reader's attention with the very first sentence, and from that point on, leading them to the most parallel worlds in the narrative universe. Although these stories do not culminate, readers of this quantity will be affected by the buried humanity of the author. Sa unang statement pa lang ng story, makikita na agad yung point na pinapakita ng author. So from that point, maintindihan yung story kasi it is heading to the body of the whole story. With that evidence, naapektuhan yung mga readers dahil sa iba't ibang aspects na pinapasok ng author ng isang story.
Another points are, first is willingness, the second one is openness, and lastly, the background of the origin of the story. So if the readers have these three qualities, siguradong mas maiintindihan niya ang isang literary work. From that point, marirealize mo na literary work from a different culture nga yan. So kung una pa lang wala na sa'yo na intindihin yun since ibang literary text yan, kahit anong basa mo sa isang story is hindi mo talaga siya mauunawaan.
Now, this is our reference for the summary we have. We once again thank you for allowing us to be here in this morning, and we hope that this presentation has given you much clearer understanding about the story of Suddenly, A Knock on the Door by Edgar Carey. Thank you.